speaking with Nadia Asti-Rose. She makes these really cool vegan bags, handbags. So tell us a little bit about your handbags.
Well, I'm very inspired by mixing fabric and textures. So I look for textiles that are interesting. I usually use upholstery fabrics because they're durable. And I use a color palette in the leathers of gray, black, and white so that there's a cohesive package when I mix the fabrics.
And what inspired you to create what makes them unique is that they're vegan. So where did the inspiration come from?
Well, I'm an animal lover, so that's the first part. It's also, the investment in starting a business is significant, and working with genuine leather is a lot more money. So the combination of those two things.
So take us through the journey of how you got to this business, your background.
I studied fashion design out of high school, and then I worked in the industry for over a dozen years for different people, mostly in sales and marketing because that's where the work is. But I wanted to get back to design and being creative. So when I had my daughter and I was on maternity leave, I started making prototypes and sourcing fabrics and materials. And then I still work part-time, but I've slowly, grown the business in baby steps, I guess. Yeah, to where it is now.
So how do you then where do you sell your bags, or how can people find them?
I sell online through my website. I also sell through Etsy, which is a great resource for designers and craftspeople. And then I sell at these handmade markets all over the city. At least once a month I'm doing an event like this.
So all over Toronto, people can find your bags?
That's right. On my website, it lists all my shows that I do. And I do custom. People come and shop at my home sometimes. It's sort of, I get the sales where I can get them. And it's a nice interaction with the client. I like that I get to see people face to face. And my clients are amazing. I mean, it's so nice. I have people coming back and I work with them on custom ideas. And but I have bad days for sure where I think I should just have a corporate job and work 9 to 5, but I love it. I love creating things, and I feel like as long as I'm seeing growth, I'm on the right path. I set goals, I plan. You have to stay organized. I just think it's a lot of self-motivation.
Where do you get your inspiration from?
I'm really inspired by textiles. That's usually where it starts. I mean, shapes, obviously, and I want them to be useful. But when I shop for fabric, that's sort of where I get excited about things each season. I try and switch it up every season and make things. I buy limited quantities of fabric, so it gives more of a one-of-a-kind feel. Because when it's gone, and people feel like they have a piece that's special, and that's exciting to me too.
I'm speaking with Chris Trigadopoulos. Now, tell me a little bit about what brings you to Artfest.
Well, the location is fabulous here. Lori, who runs it, is a wonderful person, and it's great to get the exposure. Like, we're in Toronto, so it's great to get out there and see the reaction of people, and I just love being here. It's just really nice to meet people and just enjoy the day.
And so, tell us a little bit about your art.
I started painting on canvases and T-shirts, then I went into clay, and now I've gone into pebbles and smaller items, but I love to draw. So, and then it just brought me into, whatever medium I can find, I'll draw on or I'll paint something on, and I just love doing it.
When you have an idea, how do you know which medium you want to express it in? How do you know whether you want to make jewelry or pottery when you get like a creative inspiration?
I do something on paper first, and then I'll see where it's going to look good or what's, I started doing like the little fairies and stuff and the dragons, and I thought, this would be really nice as maybe a jewelry piece or something. Where the pottery, I stick with more whimsical fun, and I find that people, when they pick it up, it puts a smile on their face, and that's what I want them to do, like to go home and say, hey, this is making me happy now. Well, this one's made out of clay, and then I take acrylic paints, and I get an idea, and I just kind of run with it.
Where do you get your inspiration then to paint for the paintings?
I love angels and dragons and just anything that comes into my head. I just think, okay, this is great. I think I'll do this. And, like my mom passed away last year, and I got the idea of doing the angels that protect you. And
so what prompted you to want to start making ceramics? To me, it seems messy.
It is messy, but I started about 25 years ago. where you couldn't find any pottery that was like just bright and happy. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to take some of my t-shirt designs and put them on clay and see what people think. And it kind of took off from there, and that was it. It was something different, and I think people really loved the idea that it was fun and whimsical. Because back then it was mostly just like glazes, like just simple glazes, and I wanted it to look like an art piece. I wanted somebody to bring home something that was reasonably priced in an art piece and that they can enjoy it, and functional at the same time. I love what I do, and I just keep going, no matter, even if you don't have a good day selling, if you love what you do, it just keeps you going. And I haven't stopped, and I've got clientele, and I love it. I think my clients can see that, and you know, they follow me where we go, so it's great.
And so prior to being an artist, I mean, is this something that is your full-time, is it a full-time gig for you? Or is this
It is a full-time thing for me now, but I was working at Sick Kids at Microbiology Lab for about 10 years and doing this part-time. And then when I basically lost my job, I had to pick it up, and I started doing shows every weekend and never looked back. Just if you have a dream, just keep going and don't stop, no matter what happens or gets in your way. No matter what obstacle gets in your way, you just keep going with it.
I'm here with Debbie Baker at Artfest at the Distillery District in Toronto. Debbie, tell us about your art. How can you just best describe it?
Well, it's more representational. It's not really based on reality, although I do work from some photographs as well as live. And it's just whatever inspires me at the time. I'm attracted to color and to subject, and from there it just develops.
Take us through your journey of becoming an artist.
Well, actually, I had always enjoyed art, but I wasn't allowed to sort of pursue it. Complicated relationship. I actually academically excelled, so I was sort of thrust into a university stream. Didn't like what I was doing after I changed my mind, and went back and pursued art on my own. Well, I just started doing it. I had way too much stress, so I had to sort of learn another way. And luckily, I've got a really supportive family, and whatever made me happy was what sort of worked. It helped pull me out of a really deep depression, and then my parents had passed on, so luckily, financially, I was able to support my dream. And then since then, it's actually been taking off, and I've been getting a lot of support, you know, not only just from family. And I've had a lot of support and help, even in the community. One of the artists they're displaying here, Bev Jenkins, has been really supportive as well. And in fact, one of the years where I was debating about doing this, I came down and was looking here myself, and I was talking to her, and she's the one that sort of gave me a kick to, you know, pursue what you can do. So she herself, even though she is a Cabbagetown artist as well, she's been incredibly supportive of me. The more that I do, and I paint a lot, and the more that I do, because I'm self-taught, I don't have any formal instruction, I'm learning as I go. But with each passing season, I'm getting better and better, and I can see that. And I want to see what's on the other side, and I have no intentions of giving up. There's times where you're like, what am I doing? You know, have I made a mistake? I have the luxury of taking that time where I don't have to make $1 million. And I do okay, and it's getting better every year. I'm getting some recognition. People are now recognize my stuff, and for me, that's amazing. It's its own reward. It makes me happy.
Well, to me, it looks like happy art.
That is what I've been told, and I think that comes out of sort of that conflict that I was struggling with, where suddenly I could do what I wanted and be who I was as opposed to who I was supposed to be.
Now, you had a health challenge for a while.
Absolutely.
How did that impact your art, or how did art impact your healing?
Well, that's what it has done. So I had basically a crash, both emotionally and physically, and I was a mess for a little while, and I found that I didn't want to interact with others, and I had been experimenting with some art. And it was what made me happy. It was where my happy place was. So I just sat there doodling, and people kept telling me, you know, please go and see someone and see if you can sell it. And it took a long time. It sort of worked hand in hand with getting my confidence back, because I didn't have any at that point. And I forgot who I was, because I used to be very strong and very determined. And suddenly the world was upside down. And my first show was very embarrassing. I couldn't speak. So I had someone that was actually selling my art for me, although I was here. I was embarrassed to display it and embarrassed to talk about it. And then the second show, and then with every single show, I'm much more confident. And I'm actually able to take positive feedback where it took me years to be able to do that. Don't let others dictate what you should be doing. Because if you're doing what you shouldn't be doing, it's not worth it. It's miserable. Do what you want.
If you would like to be a guest on Extraordinary Women TV, visit our website at extraordinarywomentv.com. I'd love to hear from you. Follow me on Twitter at Shannon_Skinner or on Facebook at Extraordinary Women TV. I'm Shannon Skinner. Join us next time for another episode of Extraordinary Women TV.